You've been subjected to a highly sophisticated form of propaganda.
It's just what you need, and not what you don't.
I actually felt safe doing the old shaking the head thing, you know, without loosening some sort of thing. I did the walk yesterday like I talked about.
I trampled a little over a mile.
Yeah, I did that. And picked up my oxycodone with acetaminophen. Warning, this could cause drowsiness. Don't take with alcohol, and it could mess up your liver. I'll tell you, though. But that's like a weird thing, you know. It's really weird. I took them yesterday. I could have taken one this morning, but I didn't. They only gave me like 6 pills, maybe. I don't know what it was. So I ended up taking 2 yesterday because it's bothering me. And I might take one today because it's kind of weird. It's more hurting right now where I think the guy anchored, you know, to get leverage to, like, you know, imagine opening a bottle, you know, old-fashioned bottle opener, you know, like they have at the bars or you know what I'm talking about. Anyway.
You're listening to Tony Caravan Live.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Oh, no.
That's not that bad, though. You know, these Christmas lights, though, are going to have to go because I did charge them, and they are using a lot of electricity. So, you know, when you buy Christmas lights, make sure you get, just because they're $1, don't necessarily buy them because those things are eating the juice out of my Jackery back there. They look nice. I'll keep them on today, but I charged it yesterday. I mean, Jackeries, they charge real quick, but now I'm just hoping that since I'm acting a little bit more normal and stuff, that my, you know, this clotting factor thing doesn't like come out. I get back into the bleeding thing. I'm actually going to have to take one of my amoxicillin things on the air because my every 6 hours comes up at 6 a.m. I'm running a little bit late today. I'm going to turn up the volume on my microphone a little bit. I had it down yesterday or up yesterday or something. It just sounds a little lower in my ear. I hope it's not distorting, but if it is distorting, just turn it down and we'll figure it out by tomorrow. So anyway,
Good morning.
Yeah, it's 21 November, and the title of this show is Not Updated. It says it came and went. Oh, man, I forgot. I updated the date, but I didn't update the title. Let's see. Let's call this It's the Holiday Season. Darn it. This means that if you subscribe to this channel, you got an email that said it had yesterday's title on it, but hopefully today's photo image. Let me double check that too. Sometimes if the image is too big, yeah, it's on there. It's kind of a weird image of me in shades. I want to thank Val for subscribing. You know, it's always nice to have a new subscriber. Appreciate it. You probably got the wrong email if you're watching this. But anyway, titles mean nothing. And since it is the weekend, let's get through the weekend weather.
Weekend weather.
So here's the latest satellite image of the former United States. And as you can see, there's this, eastward movement of cloud cover. And there's kind of some stuff just like popping up around the Gulf. And I don't know if those blue clouds basically are more, they have more moisture in them. I was thinking they were what they called noctilucent clouds, those weird clouds that like light up in the sky. I mean, that's what they look like, but that's not what I'm pretty sure that's not what they are. So there may be some pockets of precipitation around those areas. I'm not certain of that. I just wanted to show you the satellite image that is, from the most recent satellite image in motion. And to me, like I say, I know in my neck of the woods today, like for example, right at this moment, it's 43 degrees outside. Or no, it's 34 degrees outside. I'm sorry. And it's supposed to get up to a high of about 43, low of 34. But they're saying there's an 80% chance of rain. And I'm in like the mid-Atlantic states, east of the Ohio Valley, but not at the coast. About an hour away from one of the northern entrances to the Northern Appalachian Trail, in that general vicinity up there where the clouds are kind of light at the moment. So the idea that there's an 80% chance of rain, and by the way, it's going to be in the 30s and 40s all this week, and night times are going to be pretty much below freezing. So that's a fair forecast for a big swath of the country. Going all the way up into the Northeast and across the whole midsection, and certainly the plains and the Great Lakes in that area. So it's, kind of winter is here. Like I say, the holiday season. Because to me, they're one and the same. But yeah, it does puzzle me, though, when I do see the lights through the clouds, because the clouds seem almost too thin to be able to drop any rain or snow or anything like that. But if you look at the clouds over to the upper left-hand corner, as almost forming on the curvature of the earth, see, now those thick things, they definitely look like they've got something in them. And I was watching Sean James' YouTube channel. I follow him building that cabin up in Canada. And I see he's been getting some snow, snow flurries, and some snow's been sticking to the ground. Not much, though. But so our friends to the north are getting snow, and I'm sure the usual spots. But anyway, weekend weather. That's your weekend weather, and here we are. And I'm going to have to get an extension cord. I might as well use the electric while I got it. But I'm not going to use the jackery. I don't want to have to charge it all the time. So that's another thing I got to put on my list. There's a website I'm doing for someone. Get extension cord. And I could have done that because I did that Instacart thing from the Dollar Tree. I could have gotten a $1 extension cord. Get extension cord. I'll put S in apostrophe, maybe cords. I might need to get an outdoor cord too. Depends on how the finances level out this month, right? I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
You're really Santa Claus, you can get it for me. And if you can't, you're only a nice man with a white beard.
Yeah. A nice man with a white beard. Actually, I don't know. Side of my face is like kind of unshaven, but you can't tell in this light. So, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Hopefully this tooth thing is over and behind me within the next week or so. Like the biggest, like I said, it's more of a nightmare having to arrange an appointment Friday to get to and fro for them to check this up. And then hopefully he says any infection is gone, so I don't have to go through another one of these, get a prescription deal, right? Which, like I say, I might as well take on air. Surprisingly that I woke up this late. Now, I had this thing this procedure, this oral surgery. What was it? It wasn't yesterday. It was the day before. It was Friday at like sometime between 12 and 1, probably closer to 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. So from then till yesterday at 1 would have been the day of surgery. See, I figured I'm working on the 24 hours. You're not supposed to. And then the day after surgery would be 1 p.m. yesterday to 1 p.m. today. So this morning I just had like a hard-boiled egg, just chewed it on the other side of my mouth, like a couple raspberries, blueberries, and a swig of one of those smoothie things that like I said, I walked to the grocery store to pick up the prescriptions because they have a pharmacy, and I bought a few things. So that's the update on me and my...
This is a nightmare. Must be a nightmare.
Yeah, but I get through it. Anyway, here's the news. It's the greed meter. Haven't brought that up in a while. I don't know where I have the original art for that. I have to hunt. I made that thing, and I originally made it in color, and that peak thing actually like flashed red, animated. But I used to do graphics I've been doing graphics for so long that like somehow this has survived, and I don't. So I have to like dig through all these. I have like these 2 different terabyte drives, backup drives. And somewhere in there I may find this original artwork, and maybe, because it would be cool to add it. Like, who knows? I could replace Beale, Though for the time being, you've got to get mad, or you are getting mad. But I'm not mad about anything, really. And, I'm just taking it as it goes. Really. It's not getting on. I'm not getting freaked out by anything. I put this in. This is like following the news. I found this image, and I want to put this up real big here, and then I'll shrink it. This is an excavator, all right? And so when they talk about infrastructure, this is the type of machine that's necessary, all right? Now, these machines, they don't run on battery power. And I don't care what Elon Musk, I know he's coming out with like a new battery, or they're working on this new battery that's much better. They need to put something like less in the vehicle, and it's got more power, more oomph, so to speak. But it doesn't have enough oomph to run that kind of equipment, or to like forge steel into girders to, replace the thousands of bridges in this country that are, on the verge of collapse. And like I was saying, before, that the U.S. Senator from the state where I reside, I got an email from him talking about that this city, actually. I live on the outskirts of this city, but it's like I'm still I pay the city tax here. So I'm still in the city technically, but I'm like I'm outside, not downtown or in town. But anyway, they got $23 million through that infrastructure bill, or one of these recent bills, for transportation. And what they decided to earmark that money for, $23 million now. Think about that. Like, even in today's dollars, there's, you could do a lot with $23 million. This is not a major market. Okay. So they're going to remodel the train station, which, as far as I know, was already remodeled about 10 years ago. And there's why. Its location is not, it's not particularly a hub of activity. And it's really like a one-way train station. You can get a train out, you can get a train in. Like, in other words, it's not the type of train station where I could take a day trip somewhere, or commute through it. And it's intentionally set up that way. So you think they would have spent the $23 million, adding one extra car or something? No. And then I told you my Uber nightmare yesterday, or 2 days ago, when I went to get this tooth thing, thing that's still unfolding. Yeah, I found one Uber guy who said he wasn't even from this area, this city. So he lived on the outskirts of town somewhere else. And then he or anyone, there was no one else, were unavailable to pick me up. So you think they would put like 20 out of that 23 million, throw like $5 million into some like transportation, like little transportation place. Because we don't have cab service here. I mean, you can't even call a cab. And there is this like med van type of thing that you can get, but you have to jump through hoops. And I think I told that story the other day. I jumped through hoops, and those people actually came through, but this Uber guy was already there. Now I regret taking the Uber guy, and I feel embarrassed, and I got to call them this week, and they might say, hey, you're the boy that cried wolf, or guy that cried wolf. So, I would rather see $5 million put into that, where they buy like a half dozen cars, hire a dozen people, drivers, and, but is it that thing that nobody wants to work, too? I don't know. But anyway, you're not going to fix the infrastructure without carbon-based fuels. And I rest my case with this image. And now when you see this, you could also imagine a dump truck that's like would overshadow that piece of heavy equipment. By the way, if you were standing next to that thing, you would probably half your body, you would only make it halfway up that, like the yellow part on the far left, or say where the word cat is. You're lucky if your head would reach cat. Might not even. These are big devices. And this is the type of stuff you need to fix infrastructure. People just aren't aware of that. This is a title card. I just shot this morning. I just put on those weird other shades. I can't find my really cool shades. I don't know what I did with them. I might have given them away to somebody or something weird like that. Or I have them on something and I can't think, But in any event, it's like no other, that's for sure, this show. There it is. Peace, man. Peace out. I checked the price of Bitcoin today, and it looks like it's down $1.40 from yesterday. So I don't know, it's like, this is just a 1 day deal. But I don't know about this thing. Like I say, I maybe maybe famous last words, but I don't know. Even if it does go up, the idea is it just goes down. It goes up and down, and it's like you have to really be on it. You could go to use the restroom and have lost $8,000 while you were in there, and then come in and think you were going to like cash in to buy something, and it's like, oh man, where'd my money go? Album of the day. It's really song of the day. Though the Pogues with Shane MacGowan, obviously, are a classic band. And Irish music is so, is so great and I can't believe that I used to go to Irish pubs a lot, And even in Irish pubs, there were people were not playing Irish music. Now, could you imagine that? Like, I used to have to dump money in the jukebox because luckily they had an app with these, whatever the brand jukebox, I forget it is. And they're the ones that are probably still in the clubs now because this is just several years ago. I'm drinking green tea with real honey. Okay? But like in a little bit smaller print, and it says with cane sugar. You know, I guess as opposed to high fructose corn syrup. You know, people are into this cane sugar thing. It's still sugar, man. You know? It's still sugar. They should be putting this stuff called xylitol in there. There's a movement against xylitol because xylitol actually helps repair. It's like I'm not saying, and I'm not giving medical advice or anything here, but is rumored to and has been written up to help repair cavities. You know, like because your teeth don't. That's one thing. One thing that is actual, and you can look that up. Your teeth actually do. Will keep the enamel or whatever it is. Like I say, I'm not a dentist and I'm not trying to give you any kind of dental advice. But your teeth are not like in a state of stasis for the rest of your life once you get your teeth in. So it is possible to have things like somehow grow or something. And I was watching this woman, actually it was on Joe Rogan's show. And she was some nutritionist, PhD type or something like that. She has her own YouTube channel. I forget her name. I hate to do that. I hate when I do that. Because I'd like to turn you on to her. But she was the one who first was mentioning this xylitol stuff. And you can get xylitol toothpaste on like Amazon and stuff like that. That's what I use. And, while I had this problem here because a piece of metal fell out from some psycho dentist when I was a kid who like basically took half the tooth out and just to make money and just like filled all these kids' teeth with metal. Crazy stuff. It's like a line from Star Trek. Oh, Star Trek. Never let a good Star Trek reference go to waste. Hey, Scotty, remember that episode when what did they say? What was the exact wording on it? I'm losing it. Geez, it totally just slipped my mind. Anyway, TC out. Wait, this thing's losing its volume. What was I going to say? I was talking about never maybe it'll come back to me. Anyway, back to the Pogues. Irish band, the Pogues. I used to play this app and I used to play Irish songs at an Irish bar. And there used to be some people, I'd look at them and they would be over there and they would be wanting to hear something else. And I'm like, they didn't know who's playing the jukebox because I'm playing through this app because it was like, through Wi-Fi, you could actually play the jukebox and it would just debit, whatever, card you had hooked up to the app. It's kind of fun, actually. I used to play some of my own songs because my own songs are available everywhere, too. You could find them on the jukebox, too. Look up my name, play it in a bar sometime. Especially my, this one, the worst,
Thank you. Thank you.
So we'll pause it for a second so we don't get a copyright hit, and then we'll play a little more.
Well, we're going to give you the world premiere of...
Okay, we know it's a world premiere, and here is the title.
The worst Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa song ever written. So,
yeah, you can find that on a jukebox, one of those digital jukebox. Tony Caravan, the worst Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa song ever written or sung. Play that. I'll get like 2 cent royalty or something like that from it. But anyway, I used to play the Pogues to get this story going. And I think I might have the fairy. Let's see here, because I do have some Christmas music, as I discovered yesterday, on here. So, yeah, this is the song I'm talking about. I can only do about 6 minutes, so if I pause it, I'll play it. Let's see. This is the song.
It was Christmas Eve, babe.
Shane MacGowan, Fairy Tale of New York. Anyway, that's the song of the day, and you should definitely add it to your Christmas holiday whatever playlist. All right, and just speaking of that, you know, if you get a chance, I mean, get some older Pogues albums when Shane MacGowan, you know, still had like 1 or 2 teeth left. Poor guy. There's a documentary about him. It's pretty old. It's like 15 years old. I mean, I'm assuming he's still alive. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know. Let me just look up Shane MacGowan and just see what comes up in case this. Shane MacGowan. Shane Patrick MacGowan, English-born Irish singer, songwriter, musician, best known as the lead singer of the Celtic punk band The Pogues. Yeah. Years active, 1977 to present. He's still hanging in there, man, that guy. I mean, you talk about drinking. If you could find that documentary. But anyway, he's an Irishman, but I mean, he drinks like crazy. So anyway, the Pogues, Fairy Tale of New York, that song at the very least is a recommended song of the day. But, you know, while we're talking about Shane MacGowan and the Pogues, if you go back to some of their early, I mean, their stuff is really good, you know, and well worth. It won't let you down. And La Palma. La Palma is still going strong. I pulled this off today. This says the first VVI intensity earthquake recorded at La Palma. And the date on this is today. This is from the Spanish site, which again, I had to go to the second page of Google to get the official Spanish site. Do you understand how Google's like really becoming passé? You just can't count on it. And so, but a VI is a USGS. In fact, it was a fairly recent change in a coding system for the intensity of earthquakes. And VI is strong. VI usually means everyone there felt it, and stuff shook, and things may have fallen off the wall, or, you know, that kind of stuff. So this volcano is like not, you know, is still active without a doubt, because they just had their first VVI intensity earthquake. So it's something to think about. As I've been trying to explain all along, the Earth's magnetic field is weak, and things like solar outbursts and cosmic rays, they heat up the magma, which when magma reaches the surface, it's lava. You know, it's like these weird things. It's like, an asteroid, becomes a meteor when it enters the Earth's atmosphere, I think. Like weird things like that. That may or may not be true, but I think it's something like that. Yeah. I think an asteroid becomes a meteor, and then it's a meteorite if It hits the ground and you find it. And I don't know if those things are still valuable, but allegedly they are. But I don't know if we need to keep the title card up while I talk, because two faces of me, basically, literally that picture was taken a half hour ago. But and I just to get the point across to people, that this is, it's like not me, but me, but I mean, this show, it's like no other, man. It's we get into all this, semi matter of factual stuff, but it's a lot about me, and it's my morning vlog that just rambles and rambles on. But there's not. I haven't seen anything like this anywhere. Because people take things too seriously. Like I get into, I touch on the serious issues that affect us, but the idea is, in my mind, is that, and if you've watched this show, nobody's had more trials and tribulations than I have, but I still manage to keep a smile on my face. I try to, even yesterday. And, and these things, like these days after I come out of the emergency room or hospital, or like yesterday after oral surgery, I was there like, and I guess I still try to bring you, keep it going, and, that's part of what this thing is all about, the blogging thing. I mean, vlogging for me is better. Given the choice, I would much prefer, in fact, I would prefer even FaceTime or, Google Duo, whatever people want to use, than, talking on telephone, holding this thing up, and, so, and like Twitter to me, though I did it, and on Twitter at one point I had like thousands of people following me, but I stopped being active on it. I stopped being active when like overnight, like 1,000 people disappeared from my list. That was like during that time last year, the Great Purge. It was like about a year and a half ago. And I realized that they were playing some kind of game, and I didn't want to be a part of that game. And, so. I post these videos, a link to these videos on there. And occasionally a couple of, random people who were following me for a while, who I guess I had some back and forth with over the couple of years. They will randomly, once in a blue moon. Speaking of which, I think it's a full moon right now. I don't know if the computer tells you that. No. So I would have to look it up. But let me just look up that. Because I looked out the window and it looked like a full moon. But it, could be nearly a full moon. Let's see. Full moon November 21. Let's see when it is. Full moon in November 21. Old Farmer's Almanac. Full moon, you can't beat the Farmer's Almanac. Let's see what they're saying. In November 21, full beaver moon reaches full peak illumination wee hours of Friday, November 19th. So, I guess Friday was the full moon. But it's still out there, and it's looking bright, and the sky's clear enough to see it. I noticed it this morning coming down the stairs. In my hallway, I have like this partially stained glass window, but I've left like an area open because it faces the east or the west. And so when the sun sets, the light comes in there, and my bathroom is adjacent that. And this is like architectural. And so the sun, once the sun sets, the sun comes through this open spot. So it makes a stained glass look cool, but there's this like area about like that open. And when the sun gets to a point, that sun and comes across too for a while. So it's not just a brief period of time. That goes right into my bathroom, onto my bathroom vanity. And you know, UVB rays are like nature's disinfectant type of stuff. And that hits and keeps that, because bathrooms, people are always, spraying all kinds of chemicals to keep, where you have caulking around a sink or a tub or something from getting any kind of, funkiness on it. So let nature do its thing. But also at the same time, it's at eye level. So in the morning when I'm getting up and I come downstairs, because, I can tell if there's a full moon. I could look and I could see through there, and there was a full moon in the sky. But as it's saying, I guess it's on its way. It peaked on Friday, but Friday was like overcast, cloudy. Friday was a nightmare for me anyway. I don't want to think about Friday. So
You're listening to Tony Caravan Live.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel a little bit better today. The show's like no other. Peace. What do I got? A little reindeer on the finger that's trying to say peace. Cute little reindeer. It looks like Rudolph's mom. It's a sad story, kids. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Well, this thing is from there when you think about it. I think I mentioned it the other day. And he had a tooth problem. And the one guy was the dentist. Fixed him up. But I I still like these echo dot things. And, what I was talking about before, where I was saying I like doing the vlog as opposed to, I used to blog in the 90s. I mean, I had websites. We've talked about this before. I've talked about everything before because I've had 500 videos probably. But, I used to write, and I've written, I've got 10 books. And just for anybody else who's new, these are interesting books, and they're short reads and they're not expensive, but there's all kinds of weird stuff in there that, it's just, this one is pure flow of consciousness. You can see that. It's a weird angle for my hand. Flow of consciousness. And of course I've got the sun there because, I tell you, more and more people in the scientific community are signing on to this, this, something's going to happen in the next 20 years with the sun, But that's a long time, relatively speaking. So, don't be obsessed with it. But I'm still waiting for and hoping that this Echo Dot that Amazon, my call to Amazon, to my zero right now, this show is live at 6:20 a.m. Eastern Time on the 21st of November in the year 21. Whether it's 1521 or 2021, you decide. But I want them to add AI to this. And I'm just waiting for it. Would you please, do it? Because I like the idea of being able to just either, if I'm going to talk, I want to talk hands-free. I have an old, I would say, iPhone, which I no longer have cell service on, but I do have phone service because it's through a Wi-Fi. I use that Magic Jack, that $39 a year. Can't beat that. You get an app so you can call. But the thing isn't, I mean, it works fine. The house phones ring. I have it, it's like hooked up to your internet. So it's called voice over IP. It's an old term that they've been using for years. And so my TV or my house phones, I have it in the jack. And so, you know, I have a couple of those portable phones, you know, like people were using for years that I take out in the backyard and stuff. But somehow the Wi-Fi on this older iPhone, and it won't let me update the new system. See, they're pricks like that. But I could answer it. Sometimes it rings, and I could use it as a speakerphone. That's what I'm trying to get at. And the Echo Dot thing, that's what this is. And like I say, Apple apparently has a version of this, which I call the citronella candles. Let's take a look. Let's do that. Let's just see. I want to go to the Apple site. And I'll take you along with me. Because let's see what they're doing. It's a weird process to do this. You know, nothing's easy. Here we go. Apple. Oh, nope. Yeah, Apple. Wait, no. Window. Apple. Okay. There. Okay, they're pushing, let the holidays be for everyone. Yeah, okay, fine. That's fine and dandy. There. Now, don't these things look like citronella candles? Right? So let's click on them. So they're calling them mini. You never heard color like this. But they copied. I mean, let me pull up. Let's go back to here for a sec. So I can pull up, you know, a little weird navigational thing here. So I think I've even done this once before. But so on the, you know, on the right side of the screen is the Echo Dot from Amazon. It's been out forever, right? And on the left side of the screen is this you never heard color like this. And I believe you can get Amazon in like they have some colors. But it's like almost a direct copy. You know, it's like corporate espionage or something. Room-filling sound and intelligent assistant, works seamlessly with iPhone, private and secure, but it's $99 each. Nothing short of amazing. HomePod Mini delivers unexpected big sound. It just blah, blah, blah. Add more home, whatever. Let's see. Boundary pushing audio. They're pushing this speaker thing too. Multiple speakers placed around, having powerful audio everywhere. Works with your Apple devices for features like intercom, letting you quickly communicate by voice. Now, I don't know, but that's $99. So let's go to Amazon. All right. And let's look up. Oh, by the way, I watched that Wheel of Time thing that's at the top of the screen. I watch like the first 3 episodes. They're like every Friday they're going to update. It's not bad. It's different. You know. Anyway, Echo Dot. So this is like the earlier versions, but as you can see, they have ones that are like in different color. But look at the price. It's only $49. You know, it's half the price of the Apple one. Here's one that even has like some kind of clock coming through it, and it's just a little over half the price. Then they've got these limited edition ones, I guess, for kids. But the thing about this is, yeah, like here's one with a Diane von Furstenberg design. So Apple copy, I mean, these things have been out for a long time. But let's just go here, for example, to this, Amazon's Choice. And here's what Apple's not doing. Well, actually, I don't see it on this particular one. Maybe because I'm not signed in or something. But what Amazon will do, and you could find it on there if you go, it's not just where it's like $49.99. They'll actually let you pay as little as something like $6 or $7.99 a month for a couple of months. Right? Anyway, that's that. While this thing seems to be working, let's go to, if you go to rockflux.com, this is my website. My two latest books, Codex, which was last year, Then What, which was this year's book. You could instantly play some of my, beat poetry tracks, and then you could find more. And then there's clicks here to the ROCKFLUX store. And today's the 21st, but starting tomorrow, November 22nd through the 24th is free shipping if you want any of these shirts. And the 29th through the 1st, and I believe probably December 1st is probably the cutoff, it's 15% off everything. So, but anyway, if you click here, you're going to see these squares. And you go, well, where's the shirts? Well, these are the designs that I have. So if you want the holiday shirt, you say, and you want to get the hoodie or something like that, And look at the price on this. It's $18.99. And like I say, if you order this tomorrow, it's free shipping. Look at the sizes. And this is like a female. You can get these in male. They have all kinds of other accessories that you can get, pushing our morning show or ROCKFLUX. Men. Could even get You Don't Know What You Don't Know in a tank top. And they have big and tall. I had a friend of mine was asking about that. And it's like, okay, big and tall. Look at this. 5XL, man. And then you could decide on colors of these various shirts. So you get anything you want. You get like You Don't Know What You Don't Know in like a holiday red or Irish green, kind of military green, kind of khaki, not khaki, but this might be more of a khaki. I don't know what that is. Some of these shirts have some really incredible textures to them. But I'm telling you, they're good shirts. I wash them all the time. And like I say, while we're here, let's go down one last area. Here's some of my older books. And this other site that I set up many years ago called Great Solar Stuff. And this isn't a commercial. What I'm trying to tell you is this is the thing I'm using behind me. In fact, let me get rid of this Echo Dot. And you can see behind me, I'm just going to extend this right to it. That where the transistor radio below the Tony Caravan, album thing. And this is what I'm using, for these, to power those Christmas lights. And like I say, you could get a small one like this is the exact one that I have back there. It's got a plug you could plug something into, or it's got a couple of USB ports. And you can charge, this is the input charger. You can charge this. Well, this is like a car charger or from a solar panel. Or you could just use this thing and it has a cord and it comes with this charger. And you charge it, just plug it into the house and charge it so it's ready to go whenever you want. But you can get solar panels to charge it if you wanted to. And this is the NOAA radio thing I have. This thing only costs like $35. Let's make sure that's still in stock. Yeah, $35.90. That's like a good deal. I have that. I use that all the time. An AM FM radio. And these solar lights, let's make sure they still have those. Yeah, they're still in stock. $17. I've had these out in my front porch for like 3 years. I got ones that are just white, though. I use this in my little pond in my garden. So anyway, I've got this stuff, and the whole purpose of having these things are to, to have items that are useful for people, that can help support the channel, but that don't. I mean, I only make, it's like a commission deal. I'm lucky if I make 50 cents or $1 on some of those things. You listen to my songs and stuff. I'm like, the royalties today, you get like a couple of pennies. It's sad, that creativity. Yesterday we had the picture of Da Vinci up, and kind of waited till the end of the show to get into that. But how they've pushed creativity out or aside. I mean, people like me keep it alive, and I don't know if you're watching the show, you might be that kind of person too, because you get it. But it's like this recurring theme on this program is that politics is the pop culture today. TV, pop culture, news, pop culture, the cult of personality of these guys running for political office and stuff. I mean, again, today, 30, emails, fundraising from everybody from Biden, Harris, and Trump to people I have no idea who are running for Senate or Congress or whatever. It's like, I'm not sending any money because, I'm not political anymore. Because I just, the Great Reset, it's like the title of yesterday's show, it came and went, all right? The Great Reset's here. We're living in it, right? Same as we're technically living in dystopia. It's just that people don't know it because stuff still looks the same. And that's the secret. That's the secret. And that's the thing you got to get through your head, that it can be the same for you, right? Don't let them get you down. Don't let them get you upset. Don't let them drive you nuts. Because freedom is fun, but freedom is a state of mind, okay? That's what it is. It's a state of mind. And so you've got these shackles of corporate media and social media on. And so you got to break the chain, break the shackles, break the tether of social media and, the evening news or whatever, or these people that binge watch the 24-hour news stations. I mean, it's crazy. So, because it's the greed meter with these people. When you donate money, all it does is it makes the companies that own the media companies, like the 5 companies now that own the lion's share of all media, right? And the handful of the big tech companies, right, that dominate, right? And so if you look at this greed meter closely, it's not meant to be blown up. But I could get it fairly big enough. So you could see that when you go to the far right, it's the deep end, right? Yeah. Right now, the corporatocracy, this government, the people, the political people, the cult of personality, the Save America and Build Back Better, all those folks are two sides of the same counterfeit coin. And it's one big greed meter tied in with the media, and it's off the deep end. It really is. It's way off the deep end. And you just got to break away from it. And be free. free to do what you want. You know, and if you want to celebrate the holidays, celebrate the holidays. Like I say, it's the holiday season. You know, I got all this goofy stuff around here. But it's fun, you know? It's fun. And, you know, I even have the guitar, which I doubt if it's still in tune. Man, is that out of tune? No. I'm not going to play the guitar today because I don't want you to have to sit there and, you know, watch me tune it for, you know, a long time. I'll write it on my list. I will tune the guitar. Tune git fiddle. At least I remember some guy used to call it his git fiddle. I shall tune the git fiddle, and this coming week we'll do some music. But yeah, you know, just break free and, you know, get festive. You know, get some Christmas lights, Christmas hat. You know, what bothers me is that little white little thing on this hat here. Kind of keeps getting hidden by my head. That's better. Yeah. You could tell it's a Christmas hat, right? I still need to put something under that on-air sign to complete this, like, gaudy holiday crate. Because, like, that's the whole holiday thing, right? You know, get as crazy as you can. Why not? Festive, right? But you're missing out on the true meaning of Christmas. Or whatever. And like I'm trying to tell people, well, it is the holidays, plural, because it's Thanksgiving next week. It's Hanukkah the following Monday, and that lasts into what they call Advent leading up to Christmas, overlaps. Then it's Christmas. Then it's Kwanzaa. Then it's Boxing Day. And then it's New Year's Eve, right? So it's the holidays. And this is literally the holiday season. This week is like Thanksgiving week. And people have already made their plans. There's people who will be traveling in the next couple days. The lucky ones, right? To get together with family and friends. So it's the holiday season, you know? And that doesn't take away from Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Boxing Day, or New Year's Eve, right? What does it take away from? It's a descriptive, right? So happy holidays. What I'm saying is to you, happy holidays to all of you, to everyone, every one of you. And on the individual days and on the individual holidays, yeah, I would, you know, on Christmas Day, I'll say Merry Christmas. On Hanukkah, be Happy Hanukkah. Do you see? Happy Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving Day and Happy New Year, right? You know, whatever. So that disturbs me. And I have to keep mentioning that because, you know, there's still people out there that are like weird, right, about it. And they don't get it. It's like, no, it's the holidays, you know, and it's a beautiful time of year. And, you know, maybe another way of even looking at it is to say all of these things should be, it's nice that they all merge and we have like this almost 2 months of holiday season. And that's a better way for us all to come together, right? You know, that even though some of these things are religious based, some of these things aren't religious based, but the idea is that they all, you know, it's all cultural. And this is culture. You know, the holidays are culture, not politics. You know what bothers politicians the most, and bureaucrats and people who think they're in charge, is when you ignore them. They can't stand that. Right? And that's what I'm trying, that's like really the thing I'm trying to say, why I'm not political anymore. It's like, don't give them the time of day. You know? It's like, yeah, whatever. Okay? Hey, look, if I have to go into some public space where, I risk getting clubbed over the head by some Gestapo SS guy because I'm not wearing a mask, I'll wear the frickin' mask. Okay? All right? But the moment I'm out of that place and I'm away from that, man, I'm taking that thing off. Right? So it's like I say, give to Caesar what is Caesar's, The heck with it. That, you want to play their game, It's like go and no-go zones almost is the way I look at it. Right? That's why I've been using these delivery services more often now. Like this Instacart and some of these other places. Because they deliver, you end up paying a fee, right? Which, kind of sucks. But still, it comes right to your door. And you don't even see the person. They leave it right on my porch. I have a porch. You take a couple steps up my porch, and I have a porch, covered porch. And I get a notification on my email or something that says your stuff was delivered, right? And I open my door. There's nobody there. Nobody bother me. It could be raining. It doesn't even matter because it's a covered porch. I grab the bags and I bring them in and put the stuff away. And half the time the stuff comes within an hour or two. You can't beat that, right? So, there's ways of having, freedom is fun. There's ways of having fun even under this totalitarian rule, authoritarianism, whatever you want to call it. I mean, the Great Reset happened. It happened last year, actually. And, so, if this is the first time you're watching this show, because I have such few listeners, I mean, we've seen it before, some of these things are repetitive. But even if they're repetitive, they're worth repeating. Is the idea that, this whole thing, they already have the guaranteed income now because but they're hiding it under like money for children, right? So that all these people who have kids up to age 17 are getting anywhere from $300 to $250 per child per month. Okay? And I forget what percentage of those people are already on welfare, which means they have free housing, free food, and free health care with no deductibles. And now they're getting cash per child. Well, they don't need, they have, so it's like they just created, they've reinvented the welfare state. I have to explain something to you because it's hard for you to understand. Some people, not you personally. I mean, if you understand it, you know what I mean. If you're a retired person, or if you're a person who is like making money on like what they call the gig economy, somehow getting money through the internet, or if you're a person that's doing some like commuting type of job, right? But it's not like full time. Like you're not under 24-hour surveillance by the company or something. So you have freedom, because freedom is fun. Or if you're somebody who's living below the poverty line, and so in effect you're getting the free health care, free food, and rental assistance, heating assistance, and all these other programs that are available. It's an incredible safety net in the U.S. That's the reason why so many people line up at the border. Like, people are confused about that, right? They don't understand. Because they've never seen what it's like. Once you come into this country, all right, and if you don't have an income, and they're not pressing people to get a job right now, okay, then you instantly get this card that gives you like a food allowance. You know, depending on if you have a couple of kids or not, you could get like close to $200 a month in food. That's a lot of food. And I mean, unless you're out there unless you're real stupid, right? You know? But a shrewd person who gets like, you know, even $100 worth of food, you could go a long way if you buy the right stuff. And that's free. And then you have absolute free health care and free prescriptions. No copays. All right. They have free housing available or housing assistance. And then there's all these other services that are free. And now they're saying, if you have a kid, we'll give you $300 for the kid per month under the age of like 5 or something, and $250, you know, over that age, up to the age of 17. You know? So that means that's like 17 years of income you can get. Isn't that crazy? So that's how they snuck. That's the Great Reset, part of the Great Reset. You will own nothing and you will be happy. And so what I'm trying to say is that unless you're the type of person and there are people like that. I traveled when I was younger, and I had a lot of good jobs, and I made good money. Okay, so I already saw the world, did things, traveled, spent, had things, all that kind of garbage. But I know there's people there that go, oh, we want to go to Europe. Oh, we always wanted to have this thing, right? Yeah, okay, if that's you, change the channel, okay? Because you're like a materialistic person living in a freaking dream world, because we're under the Great Reset. The chances of you doing that are looking pretty bad. But for anyone else who's like, if you've reached a point where you have a house, like I bought this house, it's almost paid for, but my mortgage, taxes, and insurance are only like $200. So I mean, you can't even find rent like that. You'd be lucky to find roommates in a place where your share was $200, right? And then you'd have to deal with roommates. This is my house. I don't have any roommates. I have one roommate. It's a cat who's hiding somewhere. I don't know why he goes upstairs. He doesn't like me talking to a microphone. It confuses him. But so people who are at the poverty level, who have a place to live, who have food, medical care, and this cash coming in, they're happy. Freedom is fun for them. Life is fun. They have no incentive to get a job. See, to you think, oh my God, who'd want to live like that? As if it's like, living in the slums. I'm living in a place that's next to me is a doctor's office. Across the street is a hardware store, catty corner, and next to it was a building that wasn't looking too good, but was recently purchased, and they've been like remodeling that place right now, and it's all like new metal aluminum siding. They've got scaffolding up. That place is looking good, and next to that is like a brick apartment building, all brick, nice apartment building, and next to that is some older guy has some similar to my house, like a Dutch colonial house that's in A1 shape. And next to that is another house that looks nice. And you go down the street and there's like some, houses with like the gingerbread, details on them, that kind of stuff. No. See, you could find neighborhoods, existing houses, going to these developments and paying hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever to live in some rectangular box, cookie cutter neighborhood. You could find places for anywhere from $50,000 down to $20,000 that are existing homes that are, some people might classify them as a fixer-upper, but fixer-upper in the sense of maybe a couple of cans of paint and spackle, and maybe hammer and nails in a couple of places, or fix up the landscaping in the backyard or something. That's all I had to do. So imagine someone living at the poverty level in a decent neighborhood in their own home, right? Growing a garden, living half the year off of that, just because, or real organic food, so, that's what's going on. And that's what they've done. And they've just done 60 million Americans. But remember, that's 60 million families have qualified for this. The first round was like 30 million, but I think I saw it was 60 million. So if they have like 2 kids, all right, a kid is, like I said, kids are people too. So that's 180 million people. That's more than half the population of the United States. And there's only like 140 million people or something working right now, supposedly. Right? The population is 326 million according to the census, though it's higher than that. All right? We'll tally up those numbers, right? They totally match, and then, it's like, comes up to like 320. The population's probably a little over 330. And what did they say? There's about 100 or 10 or 11 million jobs that are not being taken right now. Good jobs. We're not talking about working at a convenience store, McDonald's, or a pizza shop or something like that. Those there's millions of those jobs available now that nobody wants to take. Same with Uber drivers. Like areas like here, apparently nobody wants to drive an Uber. I don't see why not. It's crazy. People are just downright lazy. But maybe they're not lazy in the sense that, well, they're lazy. As I always worked my ass off. I worked for years. But I mean, maybe what they're also thinking is that, why should I work? I've got a place to live. I got food. I have medical care if I have anything like that. And I've got a couple of kids, 3 kids, so it's almost $1,000 cash coming in on top of nope. See, remember, your biggest payment usually is your house payment. Well, if you're getting rent subsidy, or you're living in what they call Section 8 housing, which means the government, the state, pays your rent. And like I say, there's a building across the street that's being remodeled, and it's one house, but it's like, split into a double. And according to, the talk around the neighborhood, I talked to somebody at a hardware store who had talked to the people who bought it. Inquiring minds want to know. But the couple that bought this place is going to rent it out, and they're going to rent it out to Section 8. Which is another, in this area, I don't know if it's the same in your area, In the Army, it means you're crazy. But I mean, in this area, Section 8 is a term for government, pays your rent. So, it'll be a nice looking house. Hopefully the people go in there are decent people. Sometimes they change, but usually the people keep to themselves. Like I noticed in this neighborhood, I see these houses, and I do see houses change. Like, people don't stay for long periods of time necessarily. Because I don't know why, people are strange. I can't figure it out. But I'm staying here till I die. But I don't get rent subsidy or anything like that. I don't, I basically bought this place. It's just so damn cheap. So if you have a person that moves into a place like that and their rent is free and they have a food card so they could get free groceries, and if they get sick or they have a problem, they get free health care and all those kinds of all kinds of other service, free eyeglasses, free dental. You should see the list. I read it a couple shows ago. And then you have a couple of kids, so each one of those you get like $300 a pop on. Well, why would you want to become an Uber driver? Or you'd be like that guy that screwed me over. I made the mistake of giving him a $5 cash tip. I was giving them as an incentive so that he'd come back. I said, look, man, I'm going to be ready in about an hour or so. So, keep an eye out. I'll need a ride back. And when I tried the app, it said no driver available. So he took that $5 cash, so he might, it's his car. So I guess he took that $5 cash and just went and, had a couple beers at the bar or something, or, bought a roll of duct tape and something. I don't know what he did. All I know is he didn't pick me up and put me in a precarious position and caused, and a friend of mine had to, save me by picking me up, which was, man, I hate that, I hate having to lean on somebody for something like that. So, that's how you have to nobody's talking about it this way. That's how you have to understand why the Great Reset has already occurred. It's already here. It's been here for a year. And that the Save America and all that other talk is meaningless. And politics and legislation don't matter. See, it's just like the big tech companies don't pay attention to the First Amendment, right? Congress shall make no law abridging freedom of speech. Okay? That's constitutional law. But the social media companies, they violate that law every day. And that's like federal offense. And some people say, oh, they're private companies. No, they're not. They're publicly trading on this stock market. And on top of that, the cyberspace, the internet, has become the public square. And, and so from a number of ways, it'd be very easy for the Supreme Court to just instantly say, those terms of service your terms of service are unconstitutional. Right? I mean, it wouldn't even be, it would be controversial to these weirdos in the media who are trying to sell commercials because they want to take over social media, and they are systematically. But in reality, from a legal standpoint, equal justice under the law and all that stuff, constitutional wise, they're in violation of the U.S. Constitution. Department of Justice should be down on them instead of going after political enemies of the party in power. Right? That's what happens these days. and political appointee judges, rule supporting whoever, whatever party appointed them. Yeah, it's not equal justice under the law. And the media circus, around all these various things. And people get so caught up in it, it becomes the talk of the, country, and all the news medias and the Sunday talk shows today, right? If you watch a Sunday talk show today, man, I really have no respect for you. Because it's just talk, talk, talk. It's meaningless. It's much ado about nothing. It's sound and fury signifying nothing. It's just pure absurdity. It's meaningless. It's crazy.
This is insane.
Yeah, that's what it is. So, it's like, I don't know. I don't know what to say sometimes. It's the same old thing. But it's clearly just we live in a corporatocracy. The greed meter is off the deep end. It's not going to change, but that doesn't have to affect your life and keep you from having fun. Right? You just have to find your way, navigate, through that, through it all. It's not that hard to do. You're a human being. You got a brain. You figure it out. Watch this show, read my books, listen to my songs, accept reality. Like you got to get yourself where you figure it out. And once you figure it out, then it's okay, I get it. I see what's going on, right? Now I'm going to live my life, and I'm going to live it the way I want to live it. It's a lot of this stuff that they're talking about, and the thing is, you should simplify your life too. I'm not saying you should go to the poverty level, but I mean, you need to think about considering simplifying your life too, and not being so dependent upon them, or, where you're worried about taxation and all this other stuff. Do you really need all this stuff? Do you like your job? In my book, I have that questionnaire. It's just a simple page in here. And it's where the heck is it? This is a really good book. I'm telling you, it's a really interesting thing. It's freaky. It's weird. But it's got a lot of stuff in here that's it's straightforward and simple. It's not complex. So it's on this thing here. You see where it's a page that says likes makes me happy, dislikes / make me unhappy. And the idea is that it's an old formula that I've been telling people for years to do. It's evaluate your life. Look at your budget, are you living beyond your means? Do you need to have all of these extra things? For example, I use this app, this Magic Jack thing. I pay $39.95. I hate the 95 or 99 thing. $40 with tax, 40 something with tax a year for telephone service. Rings in my house, and I can get an app for my phone. And when I have that app and I'm outside, if I'm at the grocery store, I was at the dentist the other day, even sometimes walking down the street because people don't have secure Wi-Fi. I can make a Wi-Fi call from practically everywhere. The only place I couldn't is if I'm out. If I were in a car and I were out in the middle of nowhere, right? Because Wi-Fi wouldn't be available there. Though, a lot of these new cars now are Wi-Fi enabled and stuff. It's crazy. But yeah. And the heck if I'm going to buy an iPhone 13, because I think the iPhone days are over. I did a show on that. You know, it's like, you know, like it or not, and it's not a matter of liking Zuckerberg or not, and, you know, formerly Facebook, now Meta. This metaverse thing is coming, and it's not about gaming and having an avatar. You know, that's like one, you know, facet of that whole thing. No, what it's about of like augmented reality. It's about, instead of a smartphone, it'll be smart glasses. Or like I showed on that one show when I dealt with this entirely, they have smart contact lenses or an in-ear piece instead of an earbud that can fall out or something, like a hearing aid type of thing. They have Wi-Fi enabled hearing aids and stuff. And so, you know, you're just going to walk around, and that's why I keep trying to point out, you know, this Echo Dot thing. Like I say, I'm not sponsored by anything. I don't make any money. I don't want the green meter over top of that. So let's get rid of that. 'Cause it's, in other words, voice is the future. Talking. So, you know, think about it. And then you have a television screen. Everyone's got big screen TVs and stuff. And you got one in your bedroom and you got one in your living room, more than likely. And if not, you have a laptop or something. Right? But to have this tiny little thing that you're going to try to watch stuff on or whatever, it's like, no, those days are over, man. It was nice. It was cool. It was funky. But there's no need. So like this thing already, I don't have the capability set up. And like I say, they need to they need to make some improvements. And I think eventually, if all of this would come together and people would stop focusing on politics and they would focus on this, everything's backwards on the screen, would focus on these kinds of things and this metaverse and stuff, we could reach a world, you know, within a year, 18 months, where these smartphones are no longer necessary. So you know how they have in cars now, they have that, in fact, all cars have it, but they just, you know, they charge you to have it, like, you know, to let you know you have it. Something star, right? You know, I'm in an accident, you know, and you could talk to your car, right? Whatever they call that. Well, yeah, if you're a car, I don't drive anymore. Like I say, that's why I got in this pickle, this thing. But it's just, you know, I just, it wasn't worth it for me to have a car that if I, you know, unfortunately have to go to the dentist, I could walk to the grocery store. Technically my doctor is next door. So, and I can order anything from Instacart or Amazon or Walmart or whoever, right? Or these food delivery places. So what is the purpose of having a car for a guy like me? I don't have a job that I have to go to. So why should I pay a monthly car fee and car insurance, put fuel in it, price of gas is going up, have it park somewhere, you know? You know what I mean? It's just, to me, it's a hassle, right? To other people, it's a necessity. But what I'm getting at is, whether you have a car or don't, we're heading in the next year to 18 months is that you'll just be in your car and you'll just say, you know, it'll be like, you know, people who deal with Siri or whatever the name is, you know, computer. You'll just say computer, or maybe you'll name your car. You know, like a lot of girls name their cars, like they give their car a name, right? So they'll call their car like, hey, Henry. Henry, what's the weather out there? Hey, Henry, what's this? Like I watched this, you know, these Uber drivers, they'll put and even cab drivers will do this now. They'll put their smartphone connected, like on their dashboard through something. Well, that's just to be in your dashboard. And the thing saying, take a right at, in 1/4 mile, take the next left, and, so many, whatever, and then you're there. Well, your car will just tell you that. Hey, car, Henry, what's the weather outside? Hey, Henry, what's the population of the United States? Hey, Henry, what's, you see what I mean? And just like they have it on Fire Sticks and all these other kinds of things, your TVs you could talk to now. Hey, could you play The Bishop's Wife or something? I watched that movie. Or The Wheel of Time, whatever that new one is. Do you see what I'm getting at? Can you play the Pogues Fairy Tale from New York? I mean, that's what I do already with it. But you can also do, and I don't have the setup, but you can, I think they work through AT&T, or they work through Skype, I think, too, and Duo. You could say, hey, such and such, call, mom, call, whoever. You see? And then you could just talk to them while you're having lunch or doing something around the house. Hands free. Or your TV could be your FaceTime thing with your distant relative or something. See, that's where all this thing's heading. That's what this that's the real thing about the metaverse. Is that how it's all going to be incorporated into lifestyle and the freedom it's going to give you. And when you're walking around, you'll have, like I say, maybe glasses, but they won't be so distinctive with these frames. You almost won't be able to tell the person's wearing glasses. Or in the summertime, they'll be like sunglasses. Right? And you just have this in-ear piece. They already have Ray-Ban. You can look this stuff up. I did a show on it and showed some of the tech that already exists. So they got these Ray-Ban cool shades, that have camera in them. And, you could take pictures, video, listen to music and stuff. But they're not fully there yet because they're holding back the technology. Because the industry is still trying these damn things. Let me move this thing away. Am I done that? Yeah. These damn things are still like hundreds of billions of dollar industry. And so they're giving us this old technology. It's 15-year-old technology. And all they keep doing is what did they do with the new Apple? They add some animated emoji. They add a better camera, right? They added, you could watch FaceTime now. You can share, have a watch party. You see what I mean? The chip is improved so you could game. I mean, do you really want to game on something this tiny? No, you want a game on my monitor here is a 27-inch. The one I have upstairs is 30. I don't know what it is. It's fairly big. I'd like to even get a bigger one. But most people have a decent sized HD TV in their house, or even your laptop. So it's these things are going away. It's like everything else. The Great Reset's already happened. It's a year old. It's here to stay. Nobody's taking it back. The 2022 elections, 2024 elections aren't going to make a difference. Any money you donate to a campaign goes to the media and just makes these billion-dollar media companies richer. And those people on TV gives them a nice big Christmas bonus. So nothing's going to change. Doesn't matter. Okay? This thing's done, right? What's done is done. And it's inevitable that the metaverse and devices like the Echo Dot, and I showed you Mac has got one, Apple, that this is the wave of the future. And eventually these things will just be seamless. And it's all going to be talk. You see? You want to talk. And and that's because, excuse me, who wants to hold up a freaking thing to their ear or have to put these earbuds in and stuff that way? You just want to say, hey, call so-and-so, hands-free, right? Hands-free, without an extra device. No have to worry. Forget about worrying about charging something, right? Just have these things incorporated into your house, your car, however, your life, And so you watch. I mean, that's where this whole thing's headed. And forget about, look, they recreated the welfare state, So what? There's probably some people that are going to abuse the system and use that money. Maybe a lot of people are going to abuse that system and, drink out, get drunk and high on that money that the government's given them. I mean, it happened before, it'll happen again. But what is that to you, right? What is it to you? What can you do about it? You didn't do that, So, quality of life is the most important thing. So I still get back to, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. All right? And you can't be happy unless you have a good quality of life. And that should be your singular focus, is your personal quality of life. And nothing else matters. If you and yours, people around you are happy and have a decent quality of life, then you're fine. Now, if you want to live like some fairy tale thing, let me tell you, look, you cannot live like the rap stars, movie stars, and politicians. All right? So stop dreaming that and don't get in debt trying to live like them and have the things that they have and that you see in these TV shows and movies. I know, I was younger. I had a penthouse, a townhouse in D.C., a penthouse in New York, and I had a beach, up the ocean view house in Malibu when I was younger. And I lived in all those places for a couple of years. But the thing I realized in all those places, and I worked there, and I deserved that, and I lived a good life. If you want to do that for a time, do it. Go ahead and do it. Get a job. There's 10 million, 11 million jobs out there that are all probably paying 6-7 figures right now. Nobody wants. All right? You can go get a master's degree or something like that online. I know somebody who did it, and you could do it in less than 2 years. You can just get a job. People are desperate to hire people, and they'll pay you, and you could even work out of your house. If that means so much to you. But the idea is it's unsustainable is what I want to tell you. It's unsustainable. And there comes a time in your life where I went on life's journey and I experienced all these really cool things and had all these really great jobs and met all these really interesting people, and I had some really crazy relationships. All right? I mean, some women I still think about, dream about, man. Whoa. Right? But the point of the matter is, you could grab all the gusto life has to offer, but there comes a time where you have to realize, okay, that is unsustainable, in my forever life, as I start getting older. And so you have to reach a point where you go, enough is enough. I've had fun. I want to still have fun, but I got to find a place where I'm happy and, I mean, I hate to use the word settle down, but I mean, that's kind of the word. It's not a bad word or phrase. And then just live your life and be happy, and have a good quality of life. And it's great if you can share it with somebody else or with other people. That's it. And you can do that under this system. Screw them. Like I say, there's a thing called an exercise in futility, right? And that's what politics is right now. We have to accept that we're victims of this takeover. All right? The fall of Western civilization, they basically took over this country. And there's people thinking, oh, we're going to take it back and change it. And I'm telling you, change what? The system's in place. It's, there are certain things you just can't change. All right? Once they occur, right? What's done is done sometimes. But what you can change is your own life. You can still, you got your music. Find a place where you could be as free as you can be. And then you'll discover freedom is fun. Try to, hopefully you can try to find people that, you can have fun with. Or just figure it out. It's not something I can just say, hey, do this, do that. And, my books aren't it's that sheet I held up before, which has a list of likes versus dislikes and stuff. It's the idea is you have to fill out stuff like that. Think about it. Take time. Might take you weeks, to make a change in your life might take you months. It might take you a year, or, whatever. If you're young, sometimes you do impulsive things when people are young. I've done some impulsive things for better or worse. But whatever you do is your decision, but you've got to think it out, examine it, take, stock of your situation, your lot in life, what you really want, and then do it. And forget about the news and politics and political parties and political candidates as if they're the ones who are going to, in other words, the powers that be are not the ones putting you down. And those people who are saying we're going to replace the powers that be are not going to make your life any better. That's the best way to put it. Okay? These clowns who are in charge right now, all over the world, from the Davos set, World Economic Forum, UN psychopaths, right? To the people who are asking you to send them money to save America or whatever. None of those people are going to affect change for your individual life. I mean, unless you're you're part of that corporate system to begin with. Because maybe there'll be some sort of thing involved in the tax rate on people making X amount of dollars. Right? And as far as I know, I just don't see, anyone who's in the seven figure range, that's not going to be sustainable in this current, on this planet. I mean, that's a whole show in and upon itself, and I don't want to get into it, but just briefly. Look, robotics are replacing, manufacturing and basic jobs. AI, right? GPT-3, for those of you who understand what that is replaced. That's why you get all these weird phone calls and these odd things. It's all like computer chat type stuff. Well, customer support is all being replaced. For years, people were complaining. I'm talking to some foreigner in some other country. They don't. Well, you won't even have to worry about that because they're not. Those poor people are going to be out of a job too because it's all going to be replaced by just AI, GPT-3 or GPT-4, which will be the next thing that'll probably be indistinguishable from a human being, as far as chatting with them or talking on customer service, because we're pretty close to it now. So all those jobs are gone, right? All these, you look at the delivery services, right? And then look at all Elon Musk's stuff. And then you've got these voice assistants and, the houses. Like I already have with that Echo Dot. I can have it turn on a light. I can have it turn on certain things. I've got like some of the smart home things already, right? Well, this stuff is just proliferating. It's becoming ubiquitous, is another way of saying it. And so if you... And these people who have these jobs that they're doing long distance or through the internet and stuff like that, eventually that stuff's going to no longer exist because there's not going to be a need for it. See, what people don't understand is big data. Like they've been collecting data for a couple decades now. Well, really longer than that. But since the social media and the internet, there's the collection of data, the amount of information that they've collected, they have so much demographic information on people that it's like, it's incomprehensible. In other words, it really is, it's predictive. They could predict what you're going to buy and what you need. And there's a high probability that they're right, which means that takes out all the people in like marketing, advertising agencies, and I was involved in those things. Music industry, radio, and all that stuff. Think of the volume of music and people and stuff. And, look at all the templates, right? Forget about graphic design and all that stuff. Everything's got a template. You want to have a garage sale, you just go open the program up and there's a pre-made garage sale photo. All you do is like change the address, excuse me, put in, and slide in, drop and drag a different photo or something, right? You want to send a bill to somebody or you want to send a letter, it's a template for it. Don't you see the writing on the wall? You see? And then all of these services, like Amazon Prime, Netflix, HBO Max, and all that stuff's going to merge with Oculus and the metaverse, Facebook's metaverse and stuff like that. And people will all be doing this, virtually. And it's like augmented reality and virtual reality. Some people will want to immerse themselves in virtual reality to be inside the game, right? And other people are going to want to be in what's called augmented reality so that they're walking through the world, but it's augmented. It's like the Pokemon Go concept. But it's more real because they're wearing glasses instead of having to look down at their phone, which really, like I'm trying to tell you, in a year to 18 months will be an obsolete device. Okay? It'll be like having an old computer or me having the old phone. This phone still works, by the way. All right? This thing over here. I had it next to my bedside for for the first couple of years I lived in the house. I have another one upstairs. I have one in the bathroom. All right. That works. I like stuff like that, So, you do whatever you want to do and you can hold on to whatever technology. I have this computer here, that
Quality, quantity, and variety.
ROCKFLUX.
Let's get this show on the road.
this computer over here is one of my oldest computers, but I've tried to keep it in good shape, and I use it as this audio thing, and the quality on it is great. Just like, well, I didn't put this over here, but I should, just because in future, where is it? Here we go. So, yeah, I still use all that stuff. In my bar, in my next room over, my kitchen, I have a bar in there, and I have another really old computer in there. And that's the one I have all my songs on, because I basically just use it as a jukebox, and I've got these various playlists for different times of the year, seasons, and and like genres of music, whatever mood I'm into. So yeah, you can do all that stuff. So what I'm trying to say is the Great Reset is here. It happened a year ago. It's done. What's done is done. Forget politics is not pop culture. Okay, forget it. Nobody's going to change anything. You got to take an assessment of your life, figure it out. I've tried to do this with my books, my songs, these vlogs. I mean, the answer's there. The writing's on the wall. Figure it out. It's the holiday season. Have some fun. And if you want to buy some cool stuff, go to my site, rockflux.com, or get my book on, click on the links to these various things. I showed you the site earlier in the show. You not only help support this show, but these are good gifts to give people, right? It's the holiday season. Anyway, take care. I'll talk to you tomorrow.